Gentlemen, shopping. Finally an interesting panel to wrap up the whole today's event. As was said before we came to the stage, we've seen a real revolution in the way people shop for grocery goods. There are so many new players on the market: Groovy, Gorillas, Lisek, Getter. So many quick delivery services popped up recently and got a lot of support from venture capital funds. There's a lot going on. Of course, the pandemic caused a huge change in our behavior, in consumer behavior. But I'm wondering, this is a question to you, Jacek Balec from Frisco, because your company has been present on the Polish market for the longest period of time. You kind of educated the market about even the possibility of shopping from pure players, online shopping for grocery, not from the traditional store, but on the internet. What are the changes that are here to stay? The changes in consumer behavior, not just the ones caused by the pandemic, but those that you think will stick.
Yeah, thank you very much for this question. I mean, actually, Frisco was established 15 years ago, and for many years we were struggling with, educating, even evangelizing people to buy groceries online. And suddenly, on March 2020, everyone wants to buy in Frisco. So we had a huge demand. We do not have enough capacity to cover the demand. But according to your question, I mean, it's still a bit inconclusive period of time for us. I mean, of course, we are now quadruple our results. So it means that there is really a huge demand for our services. Our model, let's say, is built that way that we need to build a capacity for every order. So it means that we need to expand in terms of the warehouse and in terms of other things like, for example, cars and drivers. And the holiday period was a bit, let's say, hectic in terms of the previous years. So we will still do not have a clear picture. Of course, we acquire a lot of new customers. We are right now trying to establish a habit, trying to motivate them to buy fresh food because fresh food is loyalizing customers a lot. But from my perspective, it's still a bit early to say if the pandemic is the true game changer in this industry.
Okay, Michał Krowiński, what's your perspective? You're a new player on this market with a bit of a different business model, right? Because you operate from dark stores and deliver very quickly. What do you think are the trends that are here to stay and beyond the pandemic?
Look, I think that pandemic was a catalyst for certain events. Things started happening because people started exploring the option to actually start buying grocery online. But when you take a step back and you start asking why people shop online, I mean, electronics is a vertical where I think 30 to 40% is bought online. So why people buy grocery and why would they shift to vertical? And if you take a step back and try to figure out how people do grocery shopping, of course, simplistically, but you have two missions. You have those big shopping missions where you go to the big box retailers or discounters, or you go to Frisco because you buy sort of on a weekly basis relatively large baskets. But on the other hand, you have those little shops. There are 70,000 small stores in Poland still. There are corner shops with a lot of supporting a lot of small missions and smaller baskets. And whether I have a hankering for a beer because there's a game going on, or I need a yellow cheese because I'm having breakfast, or I want just something sweet, I'm not going to go to a large retailer. I'm not going to buy, from a big online store. I'm going to order Lisek, because it's there, And when you think about why people shop at Lisek, it's because nobody really likes going to a local, your local store. No, it's not like it's a pleasure. It's not a shopping mall where people like to go, window shop, go to a, movie, eat something in a food court. No, it's something you do because it's convenient. Well, if you can do the same thing with 4 clicks in the app, without moving from your house. I'm a strong believer in the fact that there are nicer ways of spending limited free time than standing in queues in stores. No, and Lisa just provides that.
Okay, but don't people really like to go to a corner shop to do small shopping, or?
Do you like to?
Not really, but
That's my point.
I think the 10 minutes that I spend going to Żabka is more or less the same as I spend online.
Well, yes and no, because you have to walk, you have to go there, you have to stand in line, you have to sort of walk around the store, you have to go back. It's a hassle, no? And if it's a peak times, there is a queue in the store, so it's not really an experience that people like. It's just things that people do because they have no alternative, no? And again, there was a game yesterday, I wanted to have a beer, no? I just ordered Lisek. It was in 10 minutes. No, why would I go to a regular store?
Okay. Chris Adam, you have, you follow the same business model as Lisek, but you have a bit of a different perspective. You have established business in Germany and in Romania, and you're starting off in Poland. I was wondering why Poland, for you, is an attractive market to expand.
Yes, actually, thank you for the invitation, first of all. I'm glad to be here. Yeah, we are a German-based company, and we started our operations in December last year. We analyzed a lot of markets, and after searching favorable characteristics, we saw that Eastern Europe is, on the one hand, not saturated. On the other hand, we have, as I said, better characteristics. We have a high density in the important districts of the bigger cities. We have lower wages, so lower labor costs, and similar prices. That's why we said, okay, we have to go to Eastern Europe and try somehow to be the blue ocean where there are not so many well-funded competitors. If you look at Western Europe, you see London or Paris or even Amsterdam and Berlin. There are a lot of players who started their business there, and I have a huge funding. And yes, this is one of the reasons we started in Romania due to our Romanian origins. Justin and me, we are two co-founders. We have origins from Romania, and actually we said, okay, let's start with Romania. Romania is one of the biggest densities in corner shops. That's why we say, okay, there's a demand for rapid delivery, or at least to get things quite fast, and we don't need the big baskets. It's also okay to have smaller ones. And Czech Republic, Prague, also a very, very interesting city. And as you already mentioned, we will be soon also in Poland. And I'm looking forward.
Okay, gentlemen, one thing I always wonder about with kind of new startups revolutionizing the business is why the new players are supposed to win when there are so many established businesses already, right? Especially in grocery. I mean, this is a very saturated market with low margins. So why pure players, Jacek Palec?
Well, first of all, I think there is a golden triad of making e-commerce pictured by Jeff Bezos 20 years ago. I think it's price, selection, convenience. And to win, you have to be, let's say, better than, as you said, established players in all of these aspects. So from my point of view, and I'm 10 years in this industry, I think the only businesses who are vertically integrated, who can take a responsibility for the whole, let's say, chain, the whole road of the product, and starting with the manufacturers and distributors, and finishing with the let's say quality of fresh products, bringing to people's houses and kitchens, can prevail. So only if you have a focus on quality, if you even are obsessed about bringing the quality to the people, this is the only way you can, let's say, change the game we are having for years.
Mm-hmm. What about you? I mean, I'm thinking, why do you think Lisek's business model is the business model to choose? I mean, you could partner with existing grocers, right? Chains. There's so many possibilities on this market. Why the completely new kind of way of doing business?
Why not? Again, Lisek is a very interesting company, because at the end of the day, we're on the crossroads between being a tech company, being a retailer, and being a logistics operator with very, very thin margins of error, no? Because when you think about the sort of operations of delivering groceries in 10 minutes, that means that you have to be able to collect them in 1.5 minutes, you have 7 minutes to deliver, and so on and so forth. So any form of partnership with existing partners brings a huge problem and sort of throws dust into the whole chain, no? Because you have a error rate, no? Like the existing players that do go to a traditional stores, they don't really have visibility on inventory, which means that error rates can spike up to 30-40%. And when you think about it, if you're a customer and every other order that you order is wrong, you're not going to be a customer for long, no? So retailer chains are very good in being retailer chains. We're very good at being Lisek, no, and delivering in 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Is that your opinion as well?
Actually, I think there are a lot of things which are important. First of all, of course, the inventory management. Our app has to have all the products which are really in our dark store on the app. And if you look at the private shopper model, where a private shopper go in other supermarkets and try to get the things, you often have problems because you cannot see the real-time stock. If someone went in a store and just took, I don't know, 20 Coca-Cola bottles, maybe there's no one, and then you have a big problem. On the other hand, one of our biggest points and most important points is to have an excellent operation. We promise to be in 10 minutes at our customer, and we should be there. And fortunately, we always achieve it, nearly always. I think the mission is somehow to change customer behavior and to try to change from weekly bulk purchases to smaller, maybe daily on-demand purchase. And it's not important to buy a lot of things and then keep it in the fridge. It's important to say, okay, let me buy just what I need today and tomorrow morning, and then I buy again. And with this business model, we somehow can achieve it that in maybe 2 or 3 years, the behavior changed completely. And what's the nicest point on this business model is that at the moment we have a 2.5 kilometer delivering area. After getting traction on the business and start to expand, we will have several dark stores in very hyperlocal situations in the city. And then the delivery area will be less and less. Maybe in 5 years, we will have an 800-meter delivery area. So the picking takes 30 seconds to maybe 90 seconds. Then we have a delivery of 3 to 4 minutes on the one way, 3 to 4 minutes on the other way. And then the business model starts to get profitable because the unit economics are much better. And this is, I think, the long-term vision. And that's why I think that it's something which has to be there in the future. It's you know, in my opinion, it is the future of retail to deliver in very short time.
Okay, you've mentioned the 10 minutes, and we discussed the 10 minutes before we got on the stage. But I was wondering, actually, if, well, I'll ask that to Lisek, is 10 minutes truly something that you want to stick to, or is it more of a marketing slogan? Because there are many different models, right? There is same-day delivery, next-day delivery, and I'm sure people purchasing everyday products of everyday need, they don't really always need them in like 10 minutes time, right? So is this something feasible? Is this something you want to stick to forever, or is it more of a marketing?
We're obsessed with 10 minutes. Okay. We're obsessed with 10 minutes. So every thing that we change in our company, whether it's on the tech side, on the operational side, on commercial side, one of the questions is, can the customer get it in 10 minutes? No, because our sort of philosophy is a little bit, if I want an ice cream, or if I want a Coke, I want it now. I don't want it in half an hour. I don't want it in 2 days. I don't want it same day. I want it now. No, and Lisek provides that.
Okay, Jacek Palec. Frisco has a bit of a different model, right? It's more of a same day or next day delivery. Why aren't you obsessed with the short periods of delivery?
Well, I think we have a quite short period of delivery time. I mean, we are covering a very different shopping mission. We have inventory for almost 15,000 products. So it means we are, let's say, dedicated to stock up shopping mission. It means that sometimes to buy in Frisco, it takes longer than 10 minutes. So no one wants to have this after 2-3 hours, really. 95% of our deliveries are for the next day. And we have customers which would like to get the deliveries in the same day model. We also are fine with it, and we are able to do it. I mean, the difference is actually between our stock up mission and impulse shopping in Lisek or in Growy, in my opinion. We are not concurrency in this, and we are more like complementary, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We've also mentioned the valuation, the investment of venture capital. I think what I've read recently that there are 10 companies, 10 quick commerce companies in Europe at the moment competing for the market with around $2 billion valuations. And I'm wondering how many of those can turn a profit and in what time. I mean, the market is really tight. I mean, the margins are really tight. Can you actually do it? I think Frisco needed 15 years for that, right?
Yeah.
It's the first
14.
year. 14. So what's your take on that?
Okay. Actually, well, it's a bet on the future because you need to invest a lot of money. As I mentioned already, you need a lot of dark stores in very central locations. And then I really believe that it's possible to make it profitable. You have so many things. You can upselling, cross-selling. You can have private label products. In the end, the most important mission is to make Growy a brand and people trust in. So when people hear the name Growy, they should think about quality, punctuality, the company who helps in the biggest needs, somehow this. And yes, according to our business plan, we will be profitable. And you asked before about the 10 minutes delivery. How important are the 10 minutes delivery? My opinion, it's my personal opinion, is that at the beginning, the 10 minutes are very important because it is somehow educational work to explain to our customer that it is possible to be very fast there. And if you have a need, if you're out of stock, you need milk or coffee or toilet paper maybe, it depends, then you can get it very fast. But in the end, the customer has to choose which is the right delivery time. And we made in Frankfurt, for example, a pilot with a 30 minutes employee-friendly delivery. So we say, we try to give some minutes to our employees. And we have also the 10 minutes ultra-fast delivery. In the end, it depends how fast the customer needs the goods. Nearly 50% choose the 30 minutes delivery, but the 30 minutes is even cheaper. So it's also an aspect of money. In the end, I think everything what is between under 30 minutes is Q-commerce, so quick commerce. And this helps us, for example, to bundle routes. Because you asked about profitability. If we achieve somehow to do, I don't know, 7 orders per hour, not just 2.5, then it's a good way. And yeah, somehow possible.
Okay, what about Lisek? What do you think about that? How I know Amazon wasn't profitable for many years, but...
Sorry again, just to clarify, not totally 7 hours. 7 hours per rider, per 7 orders per rider per hour. That was...
Okay. Okay. I know Amazon wasn't profitable for many years, and so many companies are not, like, you don't have to turn a profit, but it would be nice in the end when you start a business to hope for it.
So this short answer is yes, the business will turn a profit. The numbers are there. The little bit longer answer, and I think that it's a nice way of thinking about it, is when you think why Jeff Bezos started Amazon. No, he essentially figured out, I don't really need to have an expensive bookstore on the Fifth Avenue of New York City with extremely expensive rent, with extremely expensive stuff. I might do the same thing from a warehouse in Brooklyn, no, on the other side of Manhattan. So you cut costs on warehouse, on the store. You essentially optimize your OPEX and you reinvest this in customer, no? And at its core, Lisek is doing the same thing, no? We don't need high footfall traffic areas where people walk, which drive rent costs. No, we need smaller spaces than retailers. We need less people than retailers. We need, it's much less expensive for us to operate a dark store. No, so the mechanics is there, the numbers are there. Again, the nice way to think about this model and why it will turn a profit and how is think about what Jeff Bezos did with Amazon, because that's exactly the same logic. No. We cut the unnecessary costs from the value chain, reinvest it into the customer, and provide, better customer experience.
Okay, and how come has Frisco turned a profit in the end after so many years?
Well, actually, in Frisco, it was a lot more easier because, the profitability is already, let's say, in the business model. I mean, we exactly know how to run this operation to get the profit. And we need a certain, let's say, moment in time that the demand and every order value and our, let's say, effectiveness of warehouse meet together. And it was 2020, simple. So right now we are, let's say, above the line. The Warsaw area, the Warsaw warehouse is profitable. It's still in 2021, but it took a lot of, let's say, sweat and time to achieve it. Let me just remind that in 2019, when we started the Warsaw Automated Distribution Center, it was the, let's say, most technological advance in continental Europe. So Ocado had better one, but we here in Poland had the second best in Europe. So this is the good example when the technology meets the, let's say, requirements from the customer point of view. It simply makes sense.
Okay, you kind of, this is what I wanted to ask about, because I was wondering recently, I'm a customer of quick commerce services and online. I do a lot of online, also grocery shopping. And what I've noticed is that I've been picking up so many plastic bags in the process. And I'm wondering, is quick commerce, is e-grocery ecological? Is it sustainable? Isek.
We deliver on electric bikes, electric scooters. We have no plastic. We deliver in either cotton or paper bags.
So the answer is yes.
Mic dropped.
Same we do. But another important point is maybe also the food waste. Because if you purchase, as I already mentioned, every day what you will need, then you won't have a lot of food waste in the end of the week. And this is also a very sustainable thing and very important one. I can't give you exactly figures for the Polish market, but in Germany we have 12 million tons of food waste every year, and half of it are the households. So it's quite an important mission to reduce food waste. Yes. And yes, we have e-bikes, e-scooter, and think about a world without a lot of traffic, because you have not to go with your car to the grocer. You're able to get it delivered by e-bike in less than 10 minutes.
Okay. Frisco, I know you already know you have a...
I can add that we are canceling almost 4,000 shopping trips daily. So imagine how much carbon we are reducing, which is, polluting the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot. Okay, gentlemen, we need to wrap it up. But my last question for you, if you try and imagine the e-grocery market in 5 years' time, what do you think it's going to look like? Michał Krowiński.
Where Lisek aims to deliver to 10 million Polish customers within the next few years. So Lisek reaching 10 million Poles, which means every bigger and smaller cities in Poland will have our purple and orange dark stores there.
Mm-hmm. Jacek Palec, what do you think it's going to be like?
I actually have this 10 years period perspective for the industry right now, so I'm not so enthusiastic as my colleague, but the following months will be very exciting in my opinion, because look, I counted 11 different businesses starting the quick commerce model on a market which actually not existing right now. So it will be a huge battle. They are immediately creating red ocean. Mm-hmm. So it will be, nice to see who will prevail.
Mm-hmm. What's your take on that? What do you see in 5 years' time, 5, 10,
Hopefully, Grovey will be on every corner. You know, every 800 meter we'll have a dark store of Grovey. Nice green guys on bicycles driving through the city. And yeah, we will and want to be the Eastern Europe leader in this segment. And yeah, I think that this will be the future. It won't take maybe 5 years, but maybe even in 2.5 years. If you look how fast everything goes on and how many unicorns became unicorn within 1 year, then everything is possible in this business.
Do you think your company will be a unicorn?
Hopefully, and yeah, of course.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much for the nice conversation. I'm actually wondering how many people were grocery shopping online while we're having this this panel discussion. I hope many in your shops. Thank you very much. And well, I think this is the last panel of the day, so we can go shopping all for our groceries now. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very much.